Hi everybody, I'm Martin.
Hi, Elizabeth here.
Welcome to our second 5-minute leadership Q&A. And today's question:
Can I still lead a team if I don't understand all the technical aspects of the role?
well, the good and the short news answer is yes.
Yeah, definitely. Leadership's all about the people, it's not about the task.
You know what? We've got some great personal examples of exactly that to share. Now, believe it or not, many years ago, and let's talk many, many years ago, I was a semi-professional dancer. So my life involved going out on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, wearing the most outrageous clothes I could imagine, and basically just talking to everybody, particularly in Leeds and Manchester and some of the other northern cities. And then one day, something changed. Actually, I was supporting a friend and I went for a job interview, which I never expected to get, at Midland Bank Customer Service Centre. And actually they liked me for some strange reason and they put me through to the second round of interviews to be a team leader. And I never thought for one moment that was a job that I was going to do. 13 years later, I was still working for HSBC. And do you know what it was that made them think, yeah, this person could really work? Was my ability to communicate with people, to tell a story, to get people motivated and up for it. Something that I never really imagined that I'd do as a professional dancer, but something that they saw in me as Midland Bank. And actually that transition wasn't as hard as it could have been, except that I just wasn't used to wearing a suit and tie every day.
Yeah, so my experience was, I used to work on the intercity trains from Leeds to London, way before it was Virgin. There was a company called GNER. And I used to be the train manager on board, so I used to look after the members of staff, and that included the conductor. And then one day I had a rush of blood to the head and I decided that actually I needed a career change, I needed to do something different. And I saw an advert and it was from a bank. And so I applied for the job and I got the job. I was lucky enough to get it. And I was told that I got it because I had the management and leadership experience. And actually the fact that I didn't know anything about banking, I'd never worked in a bank, I'd never lent anybody any money, probably didn't even know that much about money in itself. But it was the leadership and management experience that they wanted, so that's why I got the job. Okay, so that's our examples, but you know what? There's loads of famous examples as well. So there's a guy called Adam Crozier, used to be head of the Football Association, and he moved to the post office. There's no relationship between football and post office. I suppose Greg Dyke's another example. So he used to be head of BBC, and he's now head of the Football Association. So, and then maybe even a more famous one than that is Peter Jones, for any of you that watch Dragon's Den.
Mm-hmm.
So he's done amazingly well with old Levi Roots and his reggae sauce. But actually Peter Jones is a expert in telecommunications, not got much to do with Levi Roots really and sauces.
Although now he'd say he was an expert, to be fair.
He would.
So you might be thinking, what have they all got in common? Well, the number one thing from our perspective they have in common is their ability to build credibility in the industry that they've worked in. And actually, it's more about their people skills necessarily than the technical aspects of their role.
So with that in mind then, we'd like to share with you our top 4 tips for how to build credibility really quickly when you're not an expert in a task.
Tip number 1, never, ever try and bluff it. Nothing will destroy your credibility more. If you don't know the answer, say you don't know the answer, but just be honest about it. Okay, so you can't just leave it at that. Tip number 2, get interested. Ask people who know the answer and who know more than you about the job that they're doing to increase your own knowledge. This isn't about understanding, in minute detail what your team do every day, but it is about understanding overall what it is they do, but more importantly, why they do it.
So tip number 3 leads really nicely on from tip number 2. Do you know what? You need to know who your experts are. So if you don't know the answer, you need to know who the people are that do know the answer. And that works on 2 levels, because actually that will really help you to know who to go to, so to help your knowledge. But also if other people come up to you and ask you a question and you don't know the answer, refer them to who you know the expert is. That's the real key. And obviously then, when you refer them, you can always go with them and find the answer out so you'll know it for next time. Sounds really obvious, but actually knowing who your experts are is really important. And then I suppose our final tip number 4, would be about actually try doing their job for a day. Now it's a really time consuming option, it's a bit of a back to the floor option if you like, but you'll be amazed not only how much you'll learn about the things that your team do, and you'll pick up some great knowledge, but actually it will massively increase your credibility straight away, because your team will see that you're making the effort and you're really trying to get into what it is that they're doing. Now it is time consuming, and a lot of leaders in our experience shy away from that kind of experience because they think, oh, it'll make me look weak, or I won't know what I'll look like I don't know what I'm doing. But essentially, as far as the expertise goes, you don't know what you're doing, so be authentic, own up to it, and really try and say to them, do you know what, I want to get stuck in here and I want to find out what it is you do.
So there you have it, 4 quick tips about how to build credibility as a leader. Now, look, if we can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so thanks ever so much for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you on our next 5-minute leadership Q&A. Bye for now.
Bye for now.